Guys, first off, hey, thank you so much, everyone who's getting on the call, who's on here right now. We had an awesome 2017, and it's because of everyone on this call right here that we get to do this. So I'm super grateful to that. We're not going to go around everyone's gratefuls today, which we usually start off the call. That would take the whole time. But basically, what we wanted to do was get a chance to go over all the good stuff that happened and reflect a little bit before we start tracking the new year. One of the biggest things we do when we start doing goal setting with athletes for the coming year is take a chance to look back on what you did. And that's going to help us either guide new training choices we want to do or new programs, or find new things we go, let's crush it again there. So that's why we wanted to do this, and it's fun just to get together everyone all in one virtual place over the course of the year. So without further ado, we're kicking off our first annual award show, E-Fiesta. I'm thinking I might add the part in there. See if anyone agrees on that or not. But thanks for coming on. Coach Graff, how are you doing, my man?
I just want to say I'm grateful for everybody being here. I love what I do. This is my passion, and I don't work a day in my life, and I hope you all follow the same suit. I hope we can just make sure that we stay grateful every day and just do what we love and hit it as hard as we can.
Yep.
And if we can, let us do all the extra work for you that is typically tedious. So thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, awesome. Dr. Hahn, you want to go next?
Hey, what's up, guys? I usually start my day with 4 grateful statements, and I kind of waited till I could get here to do it. But I'm on top of a mountain in Hawaii. I guess the first thing I'm grateful for, something in the past, that would be it's my dad's birthday. So I would say I'm grateful for him.
Hosal,
grateful for him basically moving the whole family from Malaysia to the U.S. He's the first of 7 children, so he was kind of like a trailblazer for us. Grateful for something yesterday. I think just having some quality time with my family. Something I'm grateful for today are these two. You see these guys? Say hi.
Hi, girls.
And something I'm grateful for immediately around me, it's you guys. The Juice compound has done a lot of big things this past year, and it's really because of you guys. So I'm grateful for all of you, and looking forward to the Juicies. All right, brothers.
I'm grateful for everyone on this call. That was just a chance when like I said, we were charting this coming year of everything we wanted to do, and we just kept talking about, it wasn't even projects really. What happened was we started talking about specific people going, hey, this person's done this really good. Or one of the things we're going to talk about here, Gordon's done really good, say, with the HRV training, right? And it's a thing we're going, hey, how do we help this more? So it wasn't so much thinking about what products we can do. There's room for that. You can sell a bunch of crap and no one really cares, but we're really just thinking in people's, how does CrossFit Garland in their youth program get this tool they need to get more people in or to help their kids get better? How does Crow River reach this goal of theirs, right? How does Brandon crush his upcoming competition? And that was really kind of how this came about. So I'm grateful for that. We want to start off a quick look back on some things that we'll do, and we're going to get into our first set of Juicies. I know everyone wants the Juicies real bad. Let's see, this year, started off the year, we did our first youth empowerment cert. This was something that we have been talking, me and Coach Kraft, 2012, we'd started talking about doing that. It took us 5 years to get to where we could do that. And a bunch of people on this call were here. So it still blows my mind that we did that, because the whole time I'm saying, hey, we need to do this. Oh, we got to develop this thing. And what did you say the whole time, Coach? We got to do a cert. We got to do a cert. For 5 years, we just do a cert.
My big thing was I think it's a lot of it, the explanation and just feeling it or being there, being in the moment. Anybody who's been to one of our certs understands that you get so much to take away from being there, and for us being able to say, yeah, but a little bit different, and all that we know as athletes, a little bit different, sends you off in a different course. So very grateful for Coach Zachary for making that happen, and
Yeah, that was a big one because we just had wanted that for so many times to do that and to really pull it off. Everyone has the idea, and because of you guys, we did it. So that was a huge one for me, just kind of like bucket list. For the juice for our remote coaching athletes, we ended up, we have no real gym. If you guys are just hopping on the call the first time right now, there's no actual compound. It's just a metaphor, right? There's no place. People go, when can I come train? I'm like, I don't know. Where are you? We won the Granite Games Worldwide Qualifier. It's one of the top 3 biggest fitness competitions in the world. And because of our awesome athletes, we ended up with the most people registered, and we took first place over some really, big hitters, which it just, Ryan and Josh just kind of snowballed, right? We had like 10 people, all of a sudden we had like people were winning. It was pretty crazy. So I'm grateful to see Josh and Ryan wearing their do stuff. They helped make that happen. Really, really cool. For our Taekwondo athletes,
I am not. I'm waiting because John is doing all that, so I'm just.
I'll mute Brad. It's okay. We had athletes on every level of national team for Taekwondo. We had cadets, juniors, seniors, masters, poomsae, and fighting, which again just is so cool for all 3 of us coming from that background initially. How we all met is really neat to kind of keep pushing that envelope forward, because especially if you're in that world, you know how Stone Age a lot of their stuff can be. And they're doing things just because of habit, and we know there's better ways. So that was a real big one, again, for us to come back there and help athletes that we've worked with or even teammates with. If you guys don't know this, like me and Coach Graff were teammates with Stephen Lambden when he was too young to sign. He couldn't sign his papers for his waiver. He made his national team. He was so young. He was 17 and was the heavyweight and couldn't sign his papers without his mom. And I still think, was that 11 years ago? I told her, I feel like that's the funniest thing in the world.
No, that's because he didn't know how to write his name.
It's true. It's true. He's not. Yeah. Hey, look, you don't get to the top by losing a little bit of the book learning, right? So it's been really good. And then for Dr. Han, we had worked on one product. Again, I'm getting faster at hopefully turning these out for you guys. We shot the 5-kick domination sequence over a year ago. Right? We shot it in his office over a day, and with Coach Helge's help and a bunch of people's help, we ended up, I think, 150 people around the world are using it now. Is that right, Doc? Olympic champions, anything you want to say on Olympic champions, world champions are getting it. And so I'm just honored when people know what they're doing, want to work with us. I think that's the coolest thing. Say anything, Doc?
No, I think when Coach Tim, Tony, and we were just kind of sitting around, and like our whole mission is to kind of give back, and then we wanted to put it in a way that was as easy to understand as possible. I actually had a good conversation through email with the new U.S. national team coach, and seeing how the 5-kick domination sequence, how it can transfer to the new game. But I want to reiterate that you can't have the new game without the old game first. So I think what we've done is like a great base, and then coming forward to this, or coming this next year, we have a lot of ideas for new material that'll help not only CrossFit athletes, but our Taekwondo athletes as well. So super grateful. Good to see you, Helgi.
Yeah. That was really, really cool to get that feedback from him, because I mean, he's someone who's coaching, 2-time Olympic champions, that they get what we're doing and get what you guys are doing is awesome. So those were kind of the specifics, but the last big one that happened in 2017 is I feel like we're really starting to put together a team and a community, and that's everyone on this call. Like I said, this stuff doesn't happen without you guys. So again, we're all just really grateful to help get the things that are in our head out of our head. Otherwise, you can't sleep at night, and get it into people that want to use it, the hard work in. So again, just from the bottom of our heart, thank you guys so much for doing this and believing in us and rocking so hard. For the first thing up, we're going to talk about remote coaching. Like I said, remote coaching was a huge year. We had won the Granite Games qualifier. We had athletes on every level of of national team there for that for taekwondo. For CrossFit, we had juniors, regular, and masters qualify for a regional. So it was just a really killer year on that sense. But we're looking at things and we said, hey, what are the good athletes that are really succeeding and excelling in our program doing? And how do we help more people do that, right? So first up, what we started last week, and if you guys were on it, I know Justin was, maybe you can share a little bit of that, or Michael, or anyone that was on there. We started doing weekly, we're going to do bi-weekly office hours for everyone in our program, where you get to ask questions specifically of the coaches, but also what we get is we can do a lot of one-on-one learning, but those of you that teach in groups or are teachers, you know that people learn also really well from watching other people, right? It's not just from, oh, let me tell you this, but we learn from seeing how someone else does something, or the question they have applies to us, even though it's not specific. So we've committed this entire year, 2018, we're doing at least a 1 hour bi-weekly office hours for all our remote coaching clients, either on Zoom or Facebook. We're starting off on Facebook, but just to kind of help keep the learning stuff going, to learn from each other and to push this up forward. Justin, I'm going to unmute you. And you were on last week. What was something that you took away from being on the office hours last week?
We're talking about the Facebook Live question and answer?
Yes, sir. Yep.
One of the cool things is you were talking a lot about like sticking to the program, and then like I know that I've had some like sickness things, some like back issues, and I'd asked a question about if you deviate from your program, how much does that set you off, off track and all that kind of stuff, and just one of the benefits of like being a remote client and how you're able to almost on a dime adjust things so I don't miss stimuluses for weeks on end. So
sure, yeah,
it's kind of a cool thing to learn and kind of get to know.
Yeah, and how many people, again, you had that specific question for you, but how many other people jumped in and were like, oh, me too, I always wondered that also, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So that's what I mean. So the co-learning there is really good. Mike Vespa, you were on last week on that. What was something that you took away from that? Because really it was you guys, we just tried that and it worked so well. I was like, we have to do this for everyone this year. This just has to be a part of what happened. So what was something for you that you took away?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me that I took away from it was, we talked about circadian rhythm and time of the year and the season. And I took away a lot of, because a lot of my clients live, we'll say, in the northern part of the United States. And so a lot of it for us was, a lot of things you brought up, I realized that, I was dealing with as an athlete and as a person. It's like, well, shit, I haven't even thought to talk about this a little bit with my clients. So I literally hopped off of that call, went to my private clients Facebook page and did a live talk about seasonal depression, like Justin said, sticking to the program, how the time of the year with the holidays and all that can just basically fuck that up, and how to not get discouraged by that. So like you said, it was just a co-learning thing where it's like, oh, well, shit, well, yeah, why didn't I think about that?
Yeah. Well, awesome. I'm glad you have to pay that forward to your peeps. So that's something that we're bringing. There's going to be a ton of value for everyone on that, which is really, really cool. And that kind of leads into the next part. Was we were talking about rest recovery, right? The questions are not always on training, but how do we get people, whether it's for our kids program, in state to train? For adults, it's in state mentally, but also physically to train. Here has to do a lot with recovery, right? Training is the systematic breaking down of someone's body over time, right, to rebuild it stronger. So if we're just breaking people down, and training is a regimen of stress, right, we need to de-stress to improve recovery, right? That's kind of the basic principle of what we're going on here to help do that. So one of the things that Gordon has been doing, and I've been getting a monitor, and we message a lot about this, and there's all these little trial balloons we're doing to see what's best. He's been doing a lot of the HRV training and tracking for his training. And Gordon had a couple big injuries, had some surgeries. And so making sure his body can recover and come back strong, we can't overload him and just be like, oh, we could do it before. You end up worse, right? We end up worse. So I'm going to share my screen. We're adding HRV training and tracking to all our remote coaching clients' regular training. There, it's a system we're going to use. I'm going to show you right now, and Gordon, I'm going to let you talk about it for a second here. this is actually, this is Gordon's profile here. We get to see, is he in, as we talk on the calls, is he in a sympathetic or parasympathetic state when he wakes up? Is he relaxed and ready to train? What is his state? How hard can he push today? And it gives you a gauge based on heart rate monitor tracking and an app on your phone that'll sync up, right? So the idea is we'll have everyone in the group, right, here. They haven't updated their stuff yet. But over days, over weeks, and over months to get baselines, you see here in green, that means most of the time he's good to train. Green's good. Yellow is like, hey, maybe downshift a little or don't try and PR today. And red is, what'd you do yesterday? You're overreaching. Go take some time to relax and do that. And what we want is to be able to have every athlete be able to have that to gauge. How many times think of yourself, are you like, am I being a wimp or should I push hard, right? We wonder that, but we also have our own kind of feeling of that, right? This doesn't tell the whole story, but it's going to help create awareness. So Gordon, for you, how has it been using the HRV training stuff?
Yeah, it's just useful to just kind of see, like you said, just where you're at, and then you kind of get an idea of yeah, maybe I can go a little bit harder today, or maybe I'm just going to do exactly what's prescribed.
Yep.
Like, I never let it tell me like go or don't go to the gym or whatever. I just use it as another source of input. I know that if I'm not feeling great, my HRV score is probably not going to be that high. Or it kind of also lets me see if I've been doing things right in the week, during the week, then I start to see that score go up. And so, hey, maybe I should do more of those things or keep doing that thing.
Yeah, and that's what I really want for people is it doesn't tell us the whole story. And looks, it's not, we're not cutting people open and measuring your cells and stuff. So it's not like you're not getting a full CAT scan every morning on this. But it starts with awareness, right? Awareness is where we go, hey, how am I doing on this? Have I been doing that? And we start with awareness and mindfulness. Just like Dr. Hahn said, he starts his morning with mindfulness every day. Gets us in a place where we know a little more about what we should do that day, how hard we can push, etc. Right? So those things are really, really important. And I'm excited to open that up for everyone here. I'll give instructions of things you need to get to do that. But it's been
years ago.
Yeah, you definitely, but still, it looks like you haven't changed.
Is really important. And whoever's talking right now, if you guys can go on mute, that would be killer. I think it might be. There you go. Let's see.
She just got married.
Let me stop video. Anyways, yeah. So that's the HRV stuff. I'm really, really excited about that. And the final thing we're talking about for remote coaching is for new people. We're starting off a series of New Year's challenges, both for people that are training with us or not training with us, building up in martial arts to U.S. Open. Right?
It's Justin Way, I think, or
yeah, I think I just deleted him off here. So yeah, that's what happens. Thanks, Josh. Yeah, and got to go on the mute. Right. So we're doing that for U.S. Open. So kind of like a 4-week cycle for people that are either with us or not to help you get up and get ready and on weight for that. For our fitness athletes, building up to the Open, so a 6-week cycle for non-members and current people training with us to get ready for that. And then for some people, we've created actually a challenge where we will help some new people do what you guys are getting already and to go from the start of the year through the Open. That's the idea, right? I mean, we want to help them obviously see what we're doing, how we can help someone if we did guide their training. Imagine if we had someone on one of our macro, either weight loss or muscle gain meal plans, plus HRV training, plus on our office hour calls, plus on custom programming and Fitbot. With all those parts, do you think they would do better or worse than not having that guidance? Right? It's rhetorical, but it's kind of obvious. But people are still unaware of this. So I probably am going to lean on some of you guys to help me do those. But that's what we got coming up for remote coaching, and I'm super excited about that part. But that leads us into this is my drum roll, our first Juicies. So we're going to do a series of Juicies now. let's see. I will start off with the first one, and I'll kind of do it, and then Josh and Ryan get ready here. Our first Juicy of the year goes, this one's our award for most consistent athlete. And this is someone who has had a bunch of, let's say obstacles, because obstacles, Coach Kraft, what are obstacles?
I'm sorry. What?
Yeah. What?
Obstacles are.
Coach Kraft, what are obstacles in our program?
You caught me on the spot.
No, obstacles are challenges that we have to overcome, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. And Coach Nick wanted in. I know, it's okay. It's all good. So this person has a bunch of obstacles to overcome, and that's a good thing. It makes us stronger. They've done it and actually really has almost not missed a single workout all year, no matter what. No matter if they couldn't squat, they were still on it. Or they couldn't run, they still did all the things they could do from injury. So the first Juicy goes all the way to Ohio to Gordon Gavin, my man. Congratulations, boom. Yeah, big round of applause. Anything you want, you have your 20, 30 seconds before the music plays you off.
All right. Hey, I try never miss. So thank you very much.
So what's your advice to people who maybe have a hard time, either they miss or getting back on track? Because look, you've had an ankle injury that set you back, and now you're back up to squatting over 300 pounds again. But you had a ACL surgery and a really bad ankle injury. ACL.
No excuses. No excuses.
I love it.
Just like they say, you can always the solution is in the gym. So there's always something you can do.
Yep.
That's even if you're hurt or whatever.
Yeah, you got it, my man. Yeah, well, thank you. And again, your consistency is going to inspire a lot of people this coming year. And I'm grateful that I know I can count on seeing that with good feedback in your training. And it's just killer. Good stuff. So that's our first one. Up next, let's go to Coach Josh is going to give out the award for the most inspirational.
Yeah. For me, one of our most inspirational athletes is Stephanie. She's on the call here today. So when she had been doing CrossFit for I think 3 years or something like that, and just pretty inconsistent, not really kind of seeing not being inspired to go to the gym, and not really getting results. And then she started with us during our worldwide testing phase, and was wondering if this was even for her. And I just can't imagine how hard it must be to start something that you have no idea getting into. You're in a place where you feel like it's just a huge hole for you or something like that. And just to be consistent and work at it every day. And then to get these amazing results. Stephanie has started with me. She was 265. She's now below 200 pounds and hasn't been there since 17 years old. So.
Yeah, and this is since April, right? This is not a 3 years. Since April. So Stephanie,
right? Exactly.
Stephanie, the floor is yours, ma'am. Let me unmute you. There you go, baby. Yeah, go take it away. Yeah.
Hi. I don't know what to say.
Just say the champ is here. I don't know.
Thank you. Thank you, Josh. Wow. I think, I still don't know what I'm getting into. I don't know what I thought it was going to be. It's sort of like the first time you travel abroad, right? Like you've never left the country. You've read about it. You've seen people go and come back. You try to plan. You try to imagine what it might feel like to be in another country. But until you actually go there, you can't imagine it. The feeling of the air, the smells, the sights. And I needed a guide. I need a guide, right? I can't do that on my own. So the fact that Josh and the Fitbot and this exists to meet me exactly where I am every single day, right? That zone of proximal development as a learner is incredible. It's life-changing. Josh is worth his weight in gold. Like it's incredible. It's incredible. And so when I think about the next year, I have no idea. It's like, okay, well, I've been to Europe, but have I been to China? I have no idea. I know a little bit, right? I know what it feels like now to go to a gym. I know what it feels like to feel strong. I know what it feels like to feel fast. I know what it feels like to feel my ribs and see a muscle in my leg. That's crazy. Like, who am I? That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And that's what it's all about. Like it's
That's
not
amazing.
easy, but you put in so much work, and we're just so proud of you. So
I love it. I love it. I will never stop. I will always do it. And I have to say, like, the reflection piece, and I write a lot. So kudos to Josh for reading the hundreds and hundreds of words that I type, and adjectives and metaphors. So
and
he
and thank you, Stephanie, for all the hard work. Yeah, we
Thank you.
appreciate it. Next year's going to be even awesomer is the word. Awesome. Good. Next up, Coach Ryan, if you can go off mute here, you're going to give out the award for most improved individual.
Yeah. So most improved individual, it's not just based off of accomplishments in a sport or anything like that. You know, this goes from just being consistent, compliant, and then also there is some relativeness to increasing efforts in sport and things like that. This person's been a client of mine for several months now. He actually works with Tim through Factory Forge, and that's how he got linked up with us. So this one is actually going all the way to Texas, and that's going to be Brandon Jones, who actually just qualified for his first higher level competition. He's going to the Fittest Games. It's one of the bigger off-season competitions for CrossFit. And Brandon also has his eyes set on the master qualifiers when he turns 35. 35 is the age when you get to masters in CrossFit. So he's got his eyes set on that. So Brandon, go ahead and take the floor, my man.
Hey, man, appreciate it. Man, it's been fun. You know, I've learned a lot for sure since working with Ryan. I mean, I think the biggest takeaway is, you know, I'm always clear. I always know exactly what I need to do. And if I don't, you know, he's right there to tell me, you know, answer any questions. So it's been fun. I've learned more in these past few months working with Ryan. I think I've learned in the whole time I've been CrossFitting. So it's been, you know, a lot that I can use on myself, but also I can use towards my athletes at my gym here. So I'm loving it. I'm having a great time, and I'm excited about the comp coming up. You know, and my advice is just to put your head down and do what he says. Keep rolling.
Yep. Well, you're doing it, man. You're sitting down and grinding. So we're real proud of you, Brandon, and excited for what we got coming up in the new year for all parts of your gym. It's gonna be great. Awesome. Cool. Okay, next up, we got a couple other ones here. I'm not sure if they're on, but for our junior athletes of the year, we had a couple ones. We wanted to do a male and female of each, but our junior athlete of the year, I don't know if Kevin O'Donnell's on. Kevin came within like 3 spots. He won the SoCal CrossFit Regionals for teens, won every single workout. And then I think was 3 spots out from qualifying for the CrossFit Games for a teen this year. Qualified for the Granite Games in Minnesota as an individual. For that came in, I think, top 10 out at the Granite Games. Just been crushing it and couldn't be a nicer kid. So I don't see Kevin on here, but and Kevin, we're real proud of you, buddy. And 2018 is going to be awesome. And then we ended up with a tie for our girls. It's 2 remote coaching clients I got to work with, and 1 Dr. Hahn gets to work with here are Logan Weber and Bella. I don't know how to say Bella's last name. So maybe you can say it, Jay.
Prunka,
Bella Prunka, yeah. So they each, Logan got 3rd at the Junior Pan Am Championship and has done really well. And Belle just got 2nd at the New Zealand Open and actually just got to go fight on the senior team for the World Taekwondo Team Championship representing the U.S. So really cool stuff. Anything you want to add to that, Dr. Hahn, on that part?
I think Belle's been with me for about 2 years now. You know, it's I think we talked about it earlier on the call, but basically sticking to the plan. You can't. Rome was not built in a day, so you can't get a player on the national team in a month or 2. And I think it's really kind of sticking with the plan. Number 1, having a plan and sticking with it. So I'm super proud of her. She has a really supportive family, mom, and just an entire team around her that helps her get to places. So, you know, grateful for not only her and her dedication, but her entire family. So, congratulations, Belle.
And the Juicy's, we'll have to have someone accept the Juicy on their behalf, right? This is how that's done. Awesome. So now for the final ones for remote coaching are the senior, I guess, athletes of the year, we're going to call it. For the Juicies, we have a male and female for this. For the female, it's someone I actually started working with her in 2010 as a CrossFit coach. And good athlete, couldn't do any of the stuff, couldn't do a strict pull-up. Eventually qualified for regionals through some training, and we get cut the first day because they'd say, hey, if you can't do a strict muscle-up, you're out. Next year, if you can't do this, you're out. And she'd get cut somehow a couple times and hadn't finished a workout at regionals in a few years. And this year, me and Josh and Ryan were down there at the SoCal regionals, and Haley just crushed it. She won her heat for a few events, which is an incredible accomplishment there. If you watch this stuff, it's really hard to do. Came in top 10 in the California regional in a few workouts, and it ended up, I think, 15th or 16th overall there, 6th overall at the Granite Games for the final on-site event for the women's division, and is now going off to Wadapalooza in January. So, Haley, if you're on, unmute your mic. I don't think she's here. I think she's working right now, which is a good segue into the Juicy for the male athlete of the year. I think it's probably not going to come as a surprise. This guy is basically, I could have also had him be maybe Mr. Most Consistent here. He's, done basically everything I've said for a few years, no matter how much he's hated it or how many messages I get of like, what was that you just put me through? Competed at every major Taekwondo event this year. Was just in the Grand Prix over in, Ivory Coast and that. And we're looking forward to ramping up to next year is our Olympian, Stephen Lambden, male athlete of the year for the Juicy. Take it away, sir.
I'd just like to say thank you. I can't believe you guys had this shipped to me. I definitely didn't spend a good 5 minutes of this call looking for this exact thing so I could do this bit. I'm really grateful. I'm grateful for all the coaches, Dr. Hahn, Coach Graff, Coach Thackeray. You guys have hammered on it a couple of times. Consistency is the key, and it's literally just following a roadmap. So there's a ton of really, really talented athletes on this call, especially. And so it's like, I did not assume that I was going to get this at all, just because, like I said, there are people constantly pushing and innovating in this group. And I mean, it's just a real honor to not only win this, but be in a group and a community of such elite athletes and peers. So thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Awesome. Thank you, buddy. It'll be good to see next year. I think a lot of people will be inspired by your hard work once again. So thanks, man. Okay, so that's the first part of the Juicies. The next part we're going to go over, like I said, a lot of this call is also to spotlight what's coming up for you guys. How do we help plan the year? How do we make sure that we're staying ahead of the game? One of the big things we did in 2017 was we launched our first online training tool, was the 5-kick domination sequence. And that went really awesome. It went about as good as we could have hoped for us. Just kind of, really, you follow us, we're just kind of doing this from our Facebook and our phone and a couple Mac computers. There's not this whole thing behind us of like a marketing agency and whatever. So the fact that something goes good, it's always a testament to the people around us that believe in us, which is really great. So that was good. So this coming year, we were looking at, what other training tools can we do really well? And one of our remote clients is Corey Hill, who's a gymnastics bodies coach, a CrossFit coach, a national champion taekwondo fighter. So he's got a really good perspective in kind of the mobility and flexibility world that pairs really well with Dr. Hahn's knowledge on this stuff from all, obviously, the structural and long-term progression standpoints and injury prevention. So what we've created is we're calling it the Mobility Lab. So think of it as I'm not the biggest fan of ROMWAD. I think there's no point to it. I think people just get on there and mash stuff and hold a stretch for 5 minutes. And you're like, look, I've tried to do it. And I was like, what, like, where's this going? And we know with the level system for kids, there needs to be a progression to things, right? There needs to be a focus. There needs to be a point to stuff. What's this stretch for? How do you get better at it? Once you can do the splits, how do you improve it more, right? Once you can do something with your body weight, how do you load that if you can do it properly? So what we've created is online training that's initially, we're just going to launch it from our Facebook and social media and YouTube a couple times a week to see how it goes. Steven, you've been doing this. I'll unmute you again. You've been doing this with Corey for over a year now. Like I said, we have all these little test balloons that we're floating out. What's been your experience doing Mobility Lab kind of as a test subject?
I've noticed a drastic improvement in my capability for actually doing my job, i.e., for a long time I would think, oh, I have troubles doing this kick that high, kick into the face, whatever, because I'm not flexible enough. And like one of the first things Corey taught me was it doesn't matter if you can drop into the splits if you have no strength at that range of motion. And so there's been this massive improvement because, learning simple stuff like compression strength, and it's just I was doing a lot of things for a lot of my career backwards, just because that's the Taekwondo world. We tend to take a martial arts approach as opposed to a sports-specific approach. And, Corey has made just probably one of the biggest differences in my career, particularly at my age. So I've been telling everybody about it.
Yeah, so I'm going to share my screen real quick with you guys and show you a little of just some of the movements and stuff that would be happening. And Corey couldn't be on the call right now, but it'd be this, but think of it as being like how Dr. Han's videos, how he walks you through the steps of how this is supposed to go. So it won't just be this, hey, here's a stretch, try and do it, but here's the focus, here's the level of progression you're at, here's the test, retest cycle for these mobility pieces. So you'll get to see a few different things from body weight mobility to loaded mobility. Once people have that specific requirements in the program. And again, think about maybe a 3 or 4 times per week program of progressively based mobility and flexibility training of this is done in a sequence that we know is going to all make sense, right? So here we have the loaded windmill for the Taekwondo athletes, even CrossFitters. That's super important to get there. So I was hoping to have Corey on to talk a little bit about it, but we're going to be starting that up in January, and it's just going to be free content at first for you guys. So again, try and follow along. I think that's something that everyone should be doing anyways. And really it was born out of just my kind of like disdain for ROMWAD of like, I tried to do it. I don't know. I just felt like what's the point? And for me, I like to have that mental intent in things we do of, well, why am I doing this? And maybe that's annoying for people, but I like to know that. What's the point of this? Why is this here? Why do we start here on that? So that's a big one that's been working on that. Dr. Han, I don't know if you have audio or not. We've been wanting to do also that injury prevention online training. What would be something from kind of like the injury prevention sequences you've been talking about doing that people might want to look for this coming year online?
As far as like the injury prevention, and I'm gonna preface it by saying it's not a rehab thing because from a medical standpoint. But anyways, since I might fall down going down this thing,
it's worth it, baby.
So we want to make sure that we're gonna break it down by joint. So we're gonna do an injury prevention type of curriculum for the ankles, for the knees, for the hips, for the back, T-spine, shoulders. We're going to break it down to the most common things that I'll see with most injuries. And then like Corey's, really explaining everything behind the movement, because it's fine. Like if we're doing a thoracic stretch, doing sideline thoracic rotation, but we want to make sure that, okay, we're locking the lumbar spine. This is why our hips are up at 90. This is why we have a pillow so we don't crank on our neck. So it's not just the stretches per se. We're going to really dive into why this is applicable to this injury or preventing this injury and how that relates to the joint above and below. So if we're looking at the ankle, we need to make sure we look at your big toe and your knee. So we'll kind of go through those things. And then we've gotten a lot of feedback from people, and I can't treat everyone. So when I sat down with Tim and Tony, we wanted to create something that can help the most people as possible. So look forward to that.
Yeah, excited. I'll be somewhere, I think probably March to June-ish, probably around that to get that going. But I'm excited about that because especially from coaching standpoint, whether you're in a martial arts school, a fitness center, CrossFit gym, etc., anytime you trade and you start adding up intensity, we know the other side starts to add up too, and we got to keep people healthy is really most important for our job, right? It's cool. So I'm real excited about that, Doc. The final one, I'm actually going to show this during our next section, is we've created a speed and agility, quickness, and plyometric training system that's going to be level-based. And so it's going to fit our level system. I'm not going to unwrap that just yet. I'm going to show that here in a second. But really, the next part of the call, I want to focus on our youth empowerment systems, which, like I said, was just such a cool year for us. I think we have, launching our licensees, I think we have over 20 licensees around the world, including Iceland with Coach Helgi over here, all over the U.S. Is, again, really great. We got to present at Wadapalooza last year. And Coach Rapp, we can tell everyone what's happening? Or we, I think, well, do you want to unwrap that one for us, what we're doing in January?
So in this January, we're going to be presenting once again at Wadapalooza, but they asked us back for 2 days. And they want us, center stage at prime time. We're really excited. I think, we got really great exposure last year, but I think we're going to be able to reach maybe and hopefully impact people with an understanding of, keeping their kids safe and building them up progressively and not just taking the greatest thoroughbred they have and then running them to the ground. Hopefully people can implement this program and build their kids up both mentally and physically. So we're very grateful that we are able to present again. But our goal is to just keep producing, great results, and then we'll continue to grow from there.
Yeah, I feel like the last year when we presented, they were like, maybe a step above trying to fill the schedule, right? And so we got put up against the women's elite finals there. So obviously it wasn't the biggest turnout for us there. It was good. We always do the best what we got. But this year, they asked us to come back. They were really blown away. And all the people working were like, this was different. I think they got to also see that our presentation, but also the success of the gyms and coaches we're working with. And you guys showcasing the system is proof that it works. Is proof that it's not just because Coach Kraft is Coach Kraft, but it's because the system works if you follow it and you engage and you dive in deep. So that really, I feel like them wanting us now in the primetime spot both days is because of all the gyms we work with and coaches.
Yeah, I think definitely, to go off of what you said, all the people that were running the show said by far they kind of got their mind blown by the way we did it. Or the way we do things in our program is very interactive, and we just kind of follow the template with the crowd that we do with the kids, call and response, social interaction, making people that, you're not sitting there, but you're participating. You're not sitting there, but you're
participating.
Everybody say with me, you're not sitting there, but you're
participating.
All right, I love it.
Yeah, I love it. So that's awesome. And I don't even know if I should probably say this one yet, but it looks like we may also be presenting at the Martial Arts Super Show this summer. If you guys aren't reading Dr. Han's awesome article in the Martial Arts Success Journal, it's been one of they just absolutely love it. And now they want me again because of kind of the success of the program and his great writing there. And
you guys don't know what Cetry is? That's the people who host the show. It's like
the road fitness of martial arts.
And it's the Bob the dummy that looks like this, and you see in every sports authority in Dick's. Yeah, that they make that. So that is it's just pretty huge, and they're completely in love with Dr. Han.
How can you not be? Just look at this guy. How can you not be? Right. So we're really, really grateful to get to do these, and these were big things that we said a couple of years ago. What do we want to do? Well, we wanted to be involved in the biggest competitions, the biggest stages. And Coach Graff, what did I say? Where did I say I wanted to present?
We talked about this, but you put it out there. You know, I don't mean to sound like a, you know, somebody who is pushing, you know, Think and Grow Rich or the law of attraction, but he definitely put it out there and it happened. You know, so I think the power of will and the power of want, you know, really made things happen. So I thank you, Coach Thackeray, because you were able to have the bigger vision, you know, and I have such a mindset where I'm really so focused on my kids program, but I never knew where to put it. And he basically was able to spread it out, and I'm really grateful for that. So,
well, I have smart people working with me, so it makes it good. But yeah, initially, here's the story. They wanted us to be a vendor there. I go, no, we're not being a vendor. I'm not going to stand there in a polo shirt, like handing out like you know, wristband. No. We're going to be on stage. That was a couple years ago. Now we're going to be on stage. So really cool. And again, just a testament to everyone we work with there. But because this program has grown, as you know, we have the youth empowerment systems. We run it because we believe kids need to have progression and training and consistency in their training. They don't need variance as much as they need repetitions. And you know, you don't teach kids one day math, one day calculus, one day Spanish. They need learning repetition over and over to get it right. If you have kids, you know that your kids like to watch the same movie over and over. They love that. It and it's good for them. So with our main system, we run 2-week cycles, which every 2 weeks in the programming that is done for you, our kids program, comprises of 3 movements. And that's worked really well in CrossFit gyms and fitness facilities. But for martial arts schools and PE programs that don't have as much equipment access or the ability to structure their facility like Coach Graff's, it's been a little more challenging. It's been an obstacle. So what we did, and you guys are going to see it first, we have created the new 4-week training cycle for, let's pull up this, where's the deal, for martial arts schools. So what this is now, if you run a martial arts school or you're involved in a PE class where you don't have barbells and a pull-up rig, you have a field and an agility ladder and who knows what else, not much, you can rock the program now, right? So it's going to be the level system designed for martial arts schools and PE classes. Here's what's cool. I think it's cool. It follows the same 2-week cycle as our main programming. So it's not run and squat now when we do run, climb, core, right? It's run and core. We're actually replacing the term plank with core now, so it can be a little more, have a little more room for it to grow there. So instead of run, climb, plank, it's going to be run, climb, core. And for the martial arts, climbing, again, is going to be hard to have ropes in your gym. So it's run and core. So it's the same cycle. The next one, weeks 3 and 4, jump rope, push-up, wall sit. All fit, all match. If you have a wall, you can do a wall sit anywhere. There's a wall everywhere, right? Jump rope mechanics, push-up, upper body pushing is important and good to do here. The next 2 weeks is going to be squatting and squat, different, lunge, squat, etc. mechanics. Working on flexibility, that's everything from bridges to splits, all the different parts we're doing here, and nutrition understanding. And the final part is a little different. We're adding jumping mechanics, including plyometrics, with agility and coordination. So if we look at this from kind of a top-down approach, running and core are kind of the basic parts, right? From there, you get those mechanics down. Now you can jump rope. You can do double unders a little harder than running for most people. Push-ups, isometric hold in the wall sit. Now squatting, right? Concentric contractions for those of you in the remote coaching development program. Flexibility and nutrition. Finally, into dynamic contractions in plyometrics and intensity. So it follows a nice 8-week cycle, kind of building up into that, and it's going to be all done just like this level system here that those of you have access to here in our program will be set up levels 1 through 8 for a black shirt, camo shirt, blue shirt, and white shirt through this of what the progressions are for each thing. So that's something that took us a bunch of time to kind of hammer out. We've been wanting to have that for you. I'm real excited. Coach Graff, what do you think about this?
I'm really excited. I love it. I just seeing it out there and Anybody who has our Yes program in their facility just sees the magic, and they understand that the progression and how it works. It makes a huge thing. We had one of my girls yesterday just got a blue shirt, and she's 6 years old.
She was a white shirt at our Wadapalooza presentation.
And that girl has been drilling that one drill, the ball drill, for a year. And we don't give anybody anything. Everything is earned in our place. So that, when somebody has it, it's legit. And that makes me so proud, and to see that across the board. And,
so it'll be great. Those I'm thinking. I mean, again, we didn't set out to make a product, right? Like, it'd be cool. We can sell this thing. We literally sat out and we said, Coach Marcus Park, Coach James Montazeri, Coach Chien, some of these guys that have martial arts schools, how do we help make this level system work even better for them was the idea, right? Right, Coach Graff, it wasn't like, let's just do more things. Hey, join my downline in Herbalife and you're going to get into my tiered. There's no idea like that with this stuff, right? I hope never.
Wait, now ask me how.
Yeah. Hey, ask me how to save 20%, right? But we wanted to go, hey, how do we help solve these real problems? So all this stuff starts with you guys, your feedback, and how do we help give you more things to succeed? And seeing that, I'm real excited to see how it goes in your program. We've been, testing it out, testing out the system, and we think it's going to be a really great deal for everyone here. The next one is going to be, I'm going to share my screen 2 more times, I promise, is the 4-level system for speed, agility, and plyometrics. So obviously we have a white shirt as the beginner. So we created plyometric movements from what would be the foundational movement. We call it snap down to athletic position. That's kind of the pre-jumping mechanical position we want to get someone to. Can they jump and stick? Can they do a depth drop, right? Eccentric loading, just like we teach in our coaches cert. Can they do these things? Can they do vertical jumping, linear jumping, right? A type of lateral jumping would be appropriate for a beginner. What type of cone drills? There's no vertical cone drills that I know of, right? Maybe if you throw some cones on Jacob's ladder, and then agility ladder stuff. So we broke that down from white shirt to blue shirt to black shirt to camo, etc. for everyone here. I'll be filming all of these coming up. But that's going to be something that everyone in our youth empowerment systems is going to just get access to. You're just going to get that, right? There's no other thing. People that aren't, it's going to be a product that we're going to sell just as kind of like a tool for people that want to do this on their own. But we'll have a whole instructional system based on this system for, again, everyone in our youth empowerment systems. I'm excited to see this in play just for our kids. So that should be coming up January. Yeah?
I love it.
Thank you. Well, then I'm good. I'm good. So that's going to be the second half of that martial art component part, and for the regular fitness program will be really good. Final thing I got to show, and this was something that we've been wanting to do really is, the main hurdle with our coaching cert is people getting out there, right? Justin, you got to stay on. Justin, you got to stay on for 5 more minutes. Come on, man. I'll get Justin back on. No. Is getting people to get on. Josh, can you message him? Bernstein, can you message him on Facebook? Thanks. Getting people to our cert is hard, right? Because we're in Miami. Not everyone can fly there. So we are putting our entire coaches cert into our online training site. Here, I'm going to give you the first little sneak peek of this. So this is the online youth empowerment coaching cert. It'll have the entire thing you get here, from learning respect, mass control, grounders, type of movement, the programming cycles, the basic movements we do are all going to be done up into a test. Into each session you go into, let's say here, movement course and principles. And this is what it'll look like. So I have the overview.
Goals, how we want to take people. We're going to focus on what we call our foundational system, the white shirt level, at levels 1 and 2 of an 8-level system. We're going to dial that in really good because we always want to talk about good foundation first, and then we build on a proper foundation. We don't load dysfunction. It's a big.
Right, so you'll have access. Basically, we're chopping up the entire course. Well, we are. Coach Helge's helping us chop up the entire course to where your coaches can go through this. As your program grows, you get to put your coaches through the system. People that can't make it out to Miami in person, which, again, we're still going to do that. That's the very best. But now coaches anywhere in the world can get certified in this system and learn to run the play that we're doing. So that's going to come. We're shooting for February 1st to launch that. So that's really big for us. That's the big kind of holy grail we're trying to get to before we now announce the Juiceys. If you know what that's from Zoolander. The Juiceys for the Youth Empowerment Systems. All right. So we have 3 big awards. The first award we're going to give out is Coach of the Year. All right. And this is someone who came out, was really excited to do the cert, but honestly didn't have a background really in working with kids, I don't think. And didn't have a program yet either. So someone who didn't have a background in this and didn't have a program, Coach Ralph, I'll let you jump on in a second. They've grown so much to where they're probably the best person in our group about posting cool content of coaching kids in social media. Would you agree with that, Coach Ralph?
100%.
Yeah.
Are we giving it away yet?
No, not yet, but soon. Right, which he's on almost all the coaching calls and has just grown leaps and bounds as an athlete, but really just as an individual, and for us, most important, as a leader for the kids he works with out in Gainesville, Florida. So I'm real excited to announce first Coach of the Year for the Youth Empowerment Systems is Coach Nick Drago. Boy, yeah, my man. Woo!
Well, I'm honored, and really all it is I just try to live up to the standard that you guys uphold, and everybody has said it so far. This is an amazing community to be a part of. And, I strive to be on everybody else's level. So thank you.
Well, you're doing a great job. And the people are going to be following you now, trying to win Coach of the Year next year, trying to reach that. So it's cool when someone comes in totally wet behind the ears, then becomes a leader in the group. So I'm real grateful for how hard you've worked and how far you've come. So thank you.
Thank you.
The next one up, just had to leave for coaching, I guess, is our most improved program of the year. And this is a gym. It's going to be CrossFit Garland and their youth empowerment systems. What stood out to me of their improvement was when they started, they were at our first coaching course. They were there, they were engaged, and they came back and they started up as a licensee. And what, Coach Kraft, 8 months that they weren't running the system.
They were just they had no shirts. They weren't doing it. They were just
they weren't doing the shirts. They weren't doing level testing, and he's wondering why his program still had 3 people in it. And we're like, I don't know why. You're not having kids in shirts. There's no goals. You're not doing the power chats. You're not running the play. You're just here just to say you're part of a group, I guess. I don't know. Like, it didn't make any sense to me. So you
weren't building it.
Yeah. And what did Justin say the first day that they had the shirts? Do you remember what he said?
Game changer.
Yeah, he says the words, a game changer. The kids were like all of a sudden now going towards everything he was doing. They're like super excited, motivated. And we're like, yeah, that's why I've been saying this to you for 8 months. Just run the play, run the system. So I'm super happy to say most improved is CrossFit Garland. Coach Justin and Coach Robert from there have just improved a ton on that. Cool. And so now we are up to the final Juicy. Here it is, guys. The final Juicy of the year goes to the Youth Empowerment Systems Program of the Year. These guys started off with us actually as a beta test when we did this, and we were trying to see, again, Coach Graff's program grew to over 100 kids, and that's really good. But we're trying to see, hey, is this duplicatable? or is it not? Is it just because Coach Graff's a great coach and a world-class leader? Or can we get the system down to where we can say, hey, you can do this and it works, and we're not just selling a bag of false goods? They started with us, I think, Coach, maybe about 20, 25 kids?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, and now they're getting close to 100 in their program, which I think maybe 85, 90 kids, somewhere in that range of active kids in their program is really awesome. And they have done a great job, everything from implementing the system to having people follow what they're doing now, and people reach out to them as leaders of coaching kids, which is what we want. They're basically local legends in their area for working with kids. They do a great job of regular posting to social media of how the program works. And here's a little nugget that you see Coach Jen or Coach Dana do on their stuff is really, really cool. So the first Juicey for the Youth Empowerment Systems Program of the Year goes to CrossFit PTC out of Georgia. Yeah, buddy. Let me unmute if Jen is there or Dana. Let's see, Coach Dana, you want to start accept this award?
Not me, definitely Jen. I mean, she's the one that does amazing things. Just honored that I got to walk through the door and be trained by her through you guys, and then to come to the Cert with some things already in my back pocket, and we both came home totally fired up. And I'd say the biggest change that I've seen in Coach Jen this year is that she has embraced not only your program, but now she is all about giving little trinkets, which she was always like, no, we don't do that here. I don't believe in prizes. And then I talked to her last week, and she's like, so I went to the dollar store and I got the stuff. Who are you?
Yeah, right? That's good. So and she really has just taken that program and just to the moon, right? For you as a coach with the kids, what does it mean to see your kids in the program thriving? What does that mean for you as a coach?
It's amazing. I'm mostly with our ninjas, which is our 5 to 9 year olds. And we had a 9-year-old who I've been with for almost a year. She got her blue shirt a couple months ago, and she got her first rope climb last week. And it just gives me chills just to say that. I mean, she's a very well-rounded kid. She does lots of things. And she's just like, it took her 3 tries. On that 3rd try, she was up and down.
Was she stoked? Was she happy?
Oh yeah. And then her little sister, the big thing is that the kids like to color in their stars. So her little sister really, really wanted to color in the star, and she kept saying, no. And I just walked over and got down to her level and said, would you like to pick somebody else to color in the star? And she goes, yeah, you.
Oh. As leadership, right? They view you as their leader, and that's the goal, right? They want to be in your sunshine. They want you to help them feed the good wolf. Right?
Yeah,
that is amazing. So yeah, I'm not surprised, but it always makes me excited and happy to hear that stuff because it's happening everywhere. I know Coach Allen. I know this stuff's happening in their program. I know this stuff's happening over in Gainesville. I know it's happening everywhere that people are, up with Coach Hobby. I see it everywhere, and it's just awesome that you guys believe in the system enough to do that. And again, we're grateful for that. And yeah, you're the first annual Juicey Award winner that for Youth Empowerment Systems Program of the Year. I know next year competition will be tough. You can win it twice in a row, but it's hard. No one's ever done it. It's never been done. No one's ever won a Juicey 2 years in a row.
Not yet, but soon.
Not yet, but soon. Oh, someone's looking for the repeat coach of the year. I already like it. He's already setting his game plan. So thank you guys so much. 2 final words here. Dr. Hahn, final word from you, sir. Go ahead.
Thankful for Coach Graff and Coach Tim. You know, I truly think that we started this thing like 6 years ago. We had no idea where we were going to go with it, but we knew that we had each other. And I really believe that like attracts like. And I'm grateful for you guys, brothers and business partners. And then I think you alluded to it 2 minutes ago, we're creating leaders, and we're creating leaders that we like to be around. So grateful for all of you on the call, and let's make 2018 the biggest year ever yet.
Yeah, let's do it. Coach Graff.
To bank off of what Dr. Hahn said, I believe in the law of proximity. Show me your friends, or show me the people that you're with, and I'll show you who you are. So thank you for surrounding myself with Coach Thackeray and Dr. Hahn and everybody else for raising our game, because you guys are winners, right? You guys are winners because obviously you've taken that step to kind of go to the next level, and that's where I think we're kindred spirits, because I'm addicted to it. I'm addicted to growth and being around people who raise my game, Olympians and high-level CrossFit competitors, and people who are willing to change their lives and drop over 60 pounds in a matter of months. And people who are passionate about their kids' program or passionate about fitness. Those are the people I want to be around, because they help me raise my game, which helped me raise your game. So thank you.
Yeah. As an athlete, we were all former athletes. I always wanted to win, right? That was the goal. That's what made us. We wanted to find ways to win. But now the way we win is through you all. So this year, the way we win is by giving you more things that help you succeed, that help you reach whatever those goals are specific to you and your program. So let us know how to help you. That's literally, like I said, every product and every tool we've brought up today came from a specific person, a person that we're going, how do I help Coach Nick win? How do I help Coach Allen win? How do I help Steven win? What do I need to do for them? And then it becomes the mobility lab. Then it becomes the martial art programming for the level system. Then it becomes the speed and agility and quickness training guide. It becomes that stuff, but it really starts with everyone on here. So thank you for helping us win already. We don't get to win or be fulfilled alone. It's from this group. So thank you guys being in our group and our community, and for being on the first annual Juice Award Show. Let's have a great one next year. We're talking about maybe doing one in person somewhere, like a year-end summit somewhere, maybe in the mountains, where we can, do some presentations in person, some coaching stuff in person, some training stuff in person. Somewhere in the mountains would be ideal. In the winter, we'd love to be able to do that next year. We'll sign up for everyone else that can't make it, but we want to be there. What, Coach?
I'm voting for Breckenridge.
In Breckenridge, yeah. I love Breckenridge. Somewhere we can get to, Park City, somewhere cool. We can do that. That's one of my goals this coming year, is to do this now in person and have a really fun time. But that's going to come because of everyone's growth, everyone's continual growth, everyone's hard work, and everyone's just crushing it. So let's crush 2018, and let's have a great time doing it. Okay, you guys? Thank you so much, and have a great rest of your day.
See you, Coach.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, for sure.